Hello and welcome to a brand new edition of Big C, your one-stop destination to demystify all the commodity, crypto and currency trades. I'm Avinash Gupta, and on the show today, I will be joined by Avinash Gupta, who's the Vice Chairman at GJC. Avinash, hi, thank you so much for joining in. What is your sense on the kind of reactions that we are seeing in precious metal prices? It does look like that what crude is doing, precious metals are not. So there's a very direct inverse correlation that we've seen between energy and precious metals. How have you read it?
Hi, Manisha ji. Rightly told by you, it's going in a opposite direction. And each and every movement in the commodities today, right now in gold and silver, is moving with the statements of Mr. Trump and whatever is happening geopolitically between the West Asia tensions. And right now, we are not able to decide the path where we exactly are moving towards, because each and every day, there is a different statement which comes. On one day we find that the deal is happening, and suddenly there is some statement from Mr. Trump which gives again tensions, and that is going against the trend of the market. So it is in a very dilemmatically situation where everyone is in a dilemma where and how to trade it, how to expect the gold prices and silver prices, to predict where they are exactly going, Manisha ji. So it's a very tricky situation. We are in a catch-22, and we are unable to decide which way we should finally move and which way we can talk about. Manisha ji.
Well, on one side, it is about the geopolitics, the crude prices, the tweets that are coming in from via the U.S. president. On the other side, the U.S. tariff conversation seems to have come back as well. Today is the U.S. non-farm payroll data. Markets will be taking in cues from that as well. And then there is dollar index to watch out for. Mr. Gupta, would you say that there's just too much to watch if you are dealing in gold or bullion right now?
Absolutely, Manisha ji. Right now, we are not focusing on business. We are focusing on data. And that's the sad story for a jeweler like me today on the entire country. And even the investors or even the jewelry buyers are sitting on the sidelines because nobody is willing to spend money, which is hard-earned money for them, who don't want to buy in a very fluid price fluctuation state. So we are unable to guide to the buyer of the jewelry also how they should price themselves. For that, a lot of people are now giving an advantage to the jewelry buyer, that whenever you are buying the jewelry, whether it is higher price or lower price, so a lot of schemes are coming up. So all these things, because unless and until there is a stability in the market, we will not be able to grow in the right spirit. That is the only thing which is concerning for all the jewelers today. But definitely one thing, Akshaya Tritiya gave us a great lease of life. And we could see the buying pattern of the investor or the jewelry buyer was very strong. And that gives the confidence that the industry is still going to do fantastic in future time when it comes to the stability point, Manisha ji.
Mr. Gupta, how are you also looking at the Indian demand per se? Because we do understand that the month of April hasn't seen a very big amount of imports come in because of the GST issues, and because there was a delay in authorizing banks to bring in gold as well. But if you look at in the Indian markets therein, the demand also has been on the weaker side. Maybe that is the reason we haven't seen that premium come in for prices. How are you looking at demand grow from here on?
See, Manisha ji, now May, June, traditionally the sales are comparatively lower. Post Akshaya Tritiya, there is a very small window of wedding buying is there. So traditionally 2 months, it's not going to be very exciting. And then the buying pattern starts from July onwards. And that is how the industry has always been. So I don't think it is going to be very robust 2 months for us. It will be tamed buying. It will be need-based buying, which will keep on happening. And from July onwards, things will start moving, and it should be good enough demand. I don't see there is going to be a very low demand when it comes to the value point. But volume-wise, definitely, we will see a little bit of dent in the jewelry buying. Reason is the pocket size of the consumer has not grown that big. The kind of gold prices have gone up. So we are looking at stability and 5% up in this particular year. So I feel the demand should grow. And I personally feel that there will be a demand surge compared to last year in volume also when we end 2026 financial year. Manisha ji.
All right. So value, of course, is going to go higher. Volume also, you believe, is going to get higher. As we move ahead into the year, and as you mentioned, Mr. Gupta, it's going to be about festivals and wedding season, and usually the summer months because of the heat, because of vacations, and because there's nothing really happening during this month, it's kind of a slack period. But as we step into July and August, exhibitions start and festivals and wedding come back in a very strong fervor. What kind of demand are you anticipating in the next quarter? We're letting go of this quarter. Next quarter, what is the number that market is working with?
See, if I look at the second quarter from June onwards, I personally feel there should be a growth of at least 10 to 15% in jewelry demand on the volume terms. And in case if the prices stabilize during that quarter, we can definitely see a surge of at least 25% in the volume terms, because the volume which was lost in the last year will come back, because if stability is there, because the urge to buy gold is not stopping Indians. So it will definitely come. And an appreciating asset, always Indians are smart and they want to invest in jewelry form. That is my take, Manisha ji.
How are you looking at the overall pricing going forward from here, whether it is about gold or silver? It's been a volatile year till time. Do you see the second half go the same way?
Manisha ji, second half, I am looking at a very stable market, wherein I feel a growth of 5 to 7% year on year should be a good year for everybody, because last year it was a huge rise. And after that, there should be a stability when we want to go forward. So we had a volatile year last year. First half, first quarter is also little volatile. So second part of the year, I'm looking at a very stable market, wherein we will see approximately 5% here and there. So I'm not looking at a very volatile year this year. Post this quarter is ending, Manisha ji.
A lot of people in the last year have bought silver, and we've seen silver prices quite volatile. Some people have made huge amount of money, some maybe not, some may be holding it at just about break even. How are you looking at these holdings in the Indian market? Because when you look at the import data for the month of Jan and Feb, March of course was weaker, April has been a complete washout, but there is a huge holding in the Indian markets, would you say?
Yes, Indians' love towards silver is very long. It's higher than the history if I look at gold. So I think the holding power of the Indian consumer is very high, and silver has a strong industrial use also. So what I personally feel is silver is going to be a better metal compared to gold when it comes to investment and the return part. But again, silver will not be giving a huge return in this particular year. If I look today at $80, silver I am keeping between $75 to $90 in this financial year, Manisha ji.
And how about gold? How are you looking at those prices?
Gold prices, I am not bullish on a very big time. 5,250 is my high and 4,500 is my low, Manisha ji.
How are you also looking at the demand getting distributed? I mean, jewelry demand you are quite bullish on in the third quarter of this calendar year. But till that time, do you see the investment demand picking up also strongly?
I don't see investment demand going up in a big way, but definitely speculative demand will be high.
And would you say the same for silver?
Silver, I think investment demand will be there.
And how are you also looking at the kind of move or push that we are looking at because of the higher gold prices to lower caratages and the studded jewelry doing even better?
Studded jewelry is doing fantastic, and as well as the lower caratages. That's what I said. The consumer pocket has not risen, but they want the better looking pieces in their pocket size. So people are moving towards the studded jewelry because that is design based majorly, as well as the lower caratage are fitting in their pocket size with the size of the jewelry they are looking at. So both the products are moving very strongly in the current demand. And that will drive the demand when I said there will be a demand which will be seen in the next quarter. that is the demand which will be driven, Manisha ji.
And a final question, Ren, as we move ahead from here, how are you looking at the industry reacting to this gold import concerns? We do understand that some of these banks have started to import gold now. It, of course, would be passed on to the bullion dealer, and we'll see how it moves on from here on. But at this point in time, how is the industry looking at it, dealing with it?
Manisha ji, you have hit the nail on the bullseye. See, the problem is right now the demand is little slow, and the government is trying to restrict the import of gold to control the rupee deflation, rupee depreciation. So that is the reason the government is trying to play with the GST thing, to my understanding. So it is not going to be a long-term process which is going to be there. The moment the demand improves, the gold will come into the country. Secondly, the government is working on the gold monetization scheme in a stronger manner. So I think by the end of this financial year, I am expecting the gold monetization scheme comes true, and the gold monetization will solve lots of problems of gold import for the country, which is going to give a great lease of life to the government as well as the trade, wherein the demand is consumed from the internal accruals which are there in India, madam.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Gupta, for joining in and giving us a sense of cross-sector on what really seems to be the prices right now, the demand going forward. And of course, as you mentioned, the volumes would be a stronger picture as well in this year as compared to the previous one. And that is something that the street will keep an eye on.